Hi there, my name is Joshua Karan. So, in this presentation, we'll be going over the ethics of information technology. This is an expansion on the other presentation, which is of course about information technology. So, in this presentation, we'll be going over a summary the of the other IT presentation, the 3-minute one. Then we'll be discussing the main ethical issues of IT. We will also be going over some recent case studies in relation to IT. We're also going to be going over the common philosophical concepts throughout these recent case studies. And then we'll be looking on my personal outlook on the possible solutions which are often given to the ethical issues. And then we'll be just summarizing all of what we went through in this presentation. So the previous 3-minute presentation went over it defined what internet technology was, the study of the way the internet works. It also went over the various different ways that IT can be adopted. It also went over the fact that IT, any sort of IT company, is typically going to rely on a service provider of some kind. As well as that, we went over the benefits to IT as well as the cons, as well as the fact that IT primarily focuses on software. So, what I consider the main ethical issues in regards to IT, first of all, we have the fact that hackers and hacker organizations, they will always be able to advance the capability, and that is despite advancements in security measures. It's just something that's inevitable. As well as that, a loss of anonymity is also very possible as a result of faulty or malicious code. So the first case we have is the Twitter phishing case of 2020. So this particular phishing attack was a spear phishing attack. So it targeted specific individuals. The attackers disguised themselves as Twitter IT administrators, and they asked the employees of Twitter who were working from home to share user credentials. Now, the sharing of the user credentials, this is what enabled the attackers to reset various different Twitter accounts. This was especially noticeable with celebrity Twitter accounts. So the press noticed the scam messages and the press made Twitter take action. Now, although the scam was discovered and dealt with perfectly fine, this uh, this negatively the scam negatively impacted Twitter's previously positive reputation on security. This therefore goes to show that even if even given positive reputation on security, there's always a chance that the security barriers can be broken. It inevitably can happen in some way or another. Next up, we have the Mirai distributed denial of service attack. So in 2016, a Mirai botnet supplied a domain name system provider called DIN with excessive internet traffic. Now, the internet traffic was so excessive that it resulted in many outages and business interruptions. Around 50 internet platforms were made unavailable in much of Europe and North America. 145,000 internet devices were affected by the attack. In December 2017, the US federal government found the attackers to be three college students. Now, the three college students pleaded guilty to causing this attack. However, the Mirai botnet still remains active to this very day. Next up, we have the MOVEit data breach. In May 2023, there was a software bug in the code developed by Progress Software, and this bug allowed unauthorized access to sensitive data. This led to multiple cyber attacks on 2,700 companies worldwide. Now, around 95.8 million individuals' personal data was compromised from the attack. The total cost of the breach was $15.8 million. Now, the total cost of this breach was nothing in comparison to the total cost of the next attack. This is probably because it was a flaw in the software, and primarily it wasn't so much, while indeed there were the cyber attacks that resulted from the flaw were malicious. The flaw was just an unintentional, just an just faulty code, unintentional results. Now, this next case is the computer worm called MyDoom. This computer worm was detected on January 26th, 2004. The computer worm spread through email attachments and peer-to-peer networks. Millions of computers, as well as 8.3% of emails and networks, were affected worldwide by this computer worm. It was the quickest spreading email worm in history so far. It's unknown as to what the exact origins of MyDoom were. It didn't seem to have any financial motive, so it's possible that it was made by a group hired to attack the CSO group over a legal dispute. Now, the total cost of this worm, of the damage done by this worm, was anywhere from 3.8 billion to $50 billion. So, one of the common philosophical themes throughout each of the cases we just reviewed is deontology. This is a theory developed by philosopher Immanuel Kant, stating that one's moral duty or action is more important than the results. We see this philosophical concept being played out when companies and institutions take action if they're being hit with a cyber attack. And they take action almost regardless of what will happen to the attackers or even the company's reputation in consequence. We also see John Rawls' theory of justice being played out. Specifically, the fact that the internet allows people to use the internet and software freely so long as it isn't a cyber attack on others. So, my personal opinion on the solutions offered by the philosophical concepts. Deontology, the concept of deontology, and the idea that the result is less important, that reputation is less important than the action taken against the cyber attack. That just goes to show that positive reputation does not guarantee the best security. Now, before the and even during the cyber attack, it's possible that whatever is being hit with the cyber attack had a positive reputation for its security. However, once the cyber attack was discovered, suddenly its reputation went down, and that just that just goes to show that regardless of how good or bad the security is, regardless of how good or bad the reputation is, there's always going to be some way for a security breach to take place. It's, as I've said before, it's inevitable. And, well, the only thing we can do about that is to combat cyber attacks and take action on the attackers. So, what we went over was the advancements in cyber attacks, combined with the faulty and malicious code, are the main ethical issues of IT, in my opinion, as well as that it's impossible to be 100% secure. We can only advance security measures even further and take action against the attackers. As well as that, we can all interact on the internet freely so long as we aren't performing cyber attacks affecting anyone's devices or internet access. So that's all for this presentation. be sure to let me know if you have any questions, and thank you for watching this presentation.